And so, the annual March show, the NCAA 64-team National Championship Basketball Tournament, begins. The main plot is simple. Can top-ranked Duke, the number one seed in the East, become the first team to win a second consecutive title since UCLA swept from 1967 to 73? Well, the Iowa Hawkeyes will find out early. You see, Iowa plays Texas on Thursday, and if they win that game, most likely will have the unenviable task of trying to stop the Blue Devils. Hi, everybody. Greg Stewart this way on Sports and Commentary. Next, Iowa's starting forward Chris Street joins me to preview the NCAA basketball tournament. As a freshman, Chris Street appeared in 28 games and started 15. This year, he moved into the full-time starting spot at forward and has averaged over 10 points and 8 rebounds per game. Chris, how about your first-round opponent in the East Regional down at Greensboro, North Carolina, the Texas Longhorns?
They got an inside guy that scores around 20 points, and they got three real good three-point shooters. And they do go up and down. They press a lot, similar to our style of pressing and fast breaking. So it's going to should be a high-scoring contest, and just hopefully we can come out on top. We were expected to finish around third in the Big Ten and maybe contend if everything went our way. But we started out and we had a decent regular season. We lost, I think we went 8-2 or something, or 9-1, and we went to the Big Tens and on high hopes. But then we lost the first two games in overtime by a total of like 4 points. And then that was kind of our typical of our season. We were kind of up and down. We beat some good teams. We beat Ohio State at home. We beat Michigan State at home. And we had a lot of good wins, but then we had some losses that we probably shouldn't have had. So it's been kind of an up and down season. I think it's just a good time for us to get back and have new life into NCAA tournament. You're
going to have to beat a strong Texas team, and then undoubtedly you'll face Duke again.
Yeah, exactly. We after last year's game against Duke, we felt we could have played them tight, but a little closer than we did. But they're just a great ball club, All-American, probably Bobby Hurley and Christian Leitner, and then they got Grant Hill. So they're loaded with talent. But I think we just need to first of all worry about Texas and do a good job with them. And after we get Texas, then we can worry about Duke. You guys feeling a bit snake bit down there, having to face Duke 2 years in a row? It is a little bit, but you figure if you want to get to the ultimate goal where you're going to go, you're going to have to beat some real good teams, and we're just looking forward to having a good game against Texas and hopefully be able to move on. Talk about the Big Ten for a moment or two. Ohio State is in there, number one seed. They won the Big Ten. Indiana will be one of the top teams to beat. What about the Big Ten? How do you think they'll fare? I think we got 5 out of 10 teams, and I think the Big Ten has to feel real good about getting 5 teams in, and especially Ohio State and Indiana ranked in the top 6 in the nation, I believe. And Indiana's got a great team, and Jimmy Jackson leads an Ohio State team that's real good and could go to the Final Four. Indiana or Ohio State could make it to the Final Four, and they're in separate regionals. So, just from a Big Ten standpoint, we always hope that, 2 Big Tens can make it in the Final Four, as many as we can to make the conference look good. But, Michigan State, they're playing pretty well right now, and Michigan, they got a lot of young guys, but if they get hot, there's no telling how far they could go. When you get into tournament time, you're going to face some teams that are going to take you right down to the wire in regulation or in overtime, and you have lost 3 of your overtime games. Are you concerned about how this team reacts to pressure? Well, yeah, and all those, we had 3 overtime losses that, could have easily been wins, and it's not so much, I don't know if it's the pressure or what it is, we get a little rattled, which is due to pressure a little bit. But I think we just got out of our game plan in those 3 games, and I think we just need to go in focused to the first round game, and just take the problems or the circumstances as they come, and just try to deal with them, during the game, and just try not to worry much about the pressure. Just try to concentrate on what you have to do to win. Okay, this is Sports and Commentary, and today I'm talking with Chris Street. He is a 6'8", 200-pound sophomore forward, starting forward for Tom Davis down at Iowa City, and they will take on Texas down at Greensboro, North Carolina in the first game of the Eastern Regional. If they win that, they'll undoubtedly play Duke, a team that takes on Campbell, one of the smaller schools in the NCAA tournament, and that will be a tough draw for Iowa. But as Chris said, if you want to
be the best, you've got to beat the best along the way, and that is definitely what Iowa has its sights on. You have trusted Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, and I'd like to have you talk about that for a few moments and how that occurred in your life.
Okay. When I was younger, I always, my mom always real religious, and we went to church and, to Bible school and Sunday school, and then I got to high school, and I kind of veered off the path a little bit, as a lot of people do, I think, and, didn't take, I felt that I was living a real good life and I was making the right decisions, but I wasn't talking to the Lord, or, if you want to say that, talking to Him and really trusting in Him and then I came to college and met with Jim Goodwrench, which is the director of Athletes in Action for the University of Iowa, and he does a real good job, and I met with him through what was then my roommate, Paul Lusk. He was meeting with him, I was kind of asking him about it, and Jim, and we had some good conversations about it, and now, I can really focus on, what you have to do to become closer, and, what you need to do to, express your feelings and your thoughts to Him. So, you just have to look at it as He's going to help you in whatever you're going to do, whether it's sports or academics or just in the normal way of life, and I think you have to trust in Him, and for any problems that you do have, trust in Him that He'll make the right decision for you or help you make the right decision. And if you happen to make the wrong one, He's always there to forgive you. So that's a real good thing. And I just have to put a lot of credit to Jim Goodwrench here at the Athletes in Action for University of Iowa.
Yeah, our thanks to Jim for hooking us up today. But, there's a verse in the Bible that says, "Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good." And I guess from the flip side, Chris, you have tasted what the world can offer, and you've found that it just doesn't satisfy.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot there, that you can accomplish, but there's always something missing if you're not with the Lord, and I think that's one thing a lot of people don't realize. And I just, it's lucky that I realize it, and I'm not saying, I'm perfect and that, but I think that's one thing you have to realize also, is that you're not always going to make the right decisions, and you're not always going to do everything perfect, and that's one good thing about the Lord, is He's there to forgive you for, whatever decision you make, and just try to make the right one most of the time.
University of Iowa forward Chris Street, today's guest on Sports and Commentary. His Hawkeyes Thursday will try to tackle Texas, a team that finished 23-11 in the Southwest Conference. They're going to be down at Greensboro, North Carolina in the NCAA Eastern Regional. Thank you, Chris. God bless you. We'll watch for Iowa in the NC2As.
All right. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.